will hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
The Dance of the Dragons. A stupid name for a Targaryen civil war where my ancestors danced away my birthright. We would never be as powerful or as feared again.
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to the channel. Season 3 of House of the Dragon is well into production now, and we are finally getting some very intriguing information about some of the new castings that we can look forward to seeing in the upcoming season. And finally, after years of rumors and speculation, we finally have definitive confirmation as to who will be playing Daeron Targaryen in Season 3. As recently, it has been reported that Charlie Gordon has been cast in the role. Towards the end of Season 2, we got our first glimpse at young Daeron's dragon, Tessarion, the Blue Queen, as both she and the Hightower host are departing from Old Town and heading up to King's Landing. And for Daeron and Tessarion, it won't be long before they see their first bit of action. Out of all three of King Viserys and Alicent's sons, Daeron the Daring is by far the most likable. Unlike Aegon and Aemond, Daeron is said to be kind, clever, and the gentlest of the three. In the book, Daeron was born in 114 AC, and spent the earliest years of his life in King's Landing with his brothers, along with Rhaenyra's children. Daeron himself was born not long after Jace, and while King Viserys attempted to have the boys grow up as friends, Daeron would also go on to become a bitter rival to Rhaenyra's children, just as Aegon and Aemond did. But on House of the Dragon, it appears that Daeron did not grow up in King's Landing along with Aegon and Aemond, and was sent to Old Town at a much younger age, where he would grow up a squire and cupbearer to Lord Ormond Hightower. At the age of 6, Daeron Targaryen claimed his dragon Tessarion for the first time, a beautiful deep blue dragon with copper horns, of whom he named the Blue Queen. Years later, after the death of King Viserys and the beginning of the Dance of the Dragons, Lord Ormond Hightower was finally called from Old Town to head to King's Landing, along with Daeron Targaryen and his dragon. It seems Daeron was finally about to get his first taste of battle. While en route to King's Landing, the Hightower host comes under attack by forces loyal to Rhaenyra in the Reach, during the Battle of the Honeywine, during which the Hightower forces were on the verge of being defeated until Daeron and Tessarion entered the battle and tipped the scales, with the Hightower forces emerging as the victor as a result. Later on that night, Lord Ormond Hightower would host a feast in Daeron's honor, dubbing him Daeron the Daring and gifting him the Valyrian steel sword, Vigilance. Over the next few weeks, as they continued on their way to King's Landing, Daeron the Daring would prove invaluable to the Hightower host, scouting ahead and scaring some of Rhaenyra's supporters into submission for fear of facing his dragon Tessarion, and in the process brought the Shield Islands, House Oakheart, and House Rowan over to the green side. Later on during the Dance of the Dragons, Daeron would take part in some of the biggest dragon battles that occurred during the war, including the Battle of Tumbleton. And based on some of the recent information coming out of the filming for House of the Dragon Season 3, it looks like we will indeed see the first Battle of Tumbleton in the third season, which is reportedly coming in Episode 8. And thanks to some recent spy photos that have released, it looks like we are even getting our very first look at young Daeron Targaryen on set, in what is reportedly a meeting between Daeron and Daemon Targaryen, which is a pretty big departure from the book. Which of course begs the question, why exactly would Daemon be meeting with Daeron at all, and at what point in the season does this meeting take place? Up until this point, the TV series has proven that they are not afraid of straying from the source material from time to time, so anything could be possible. But I get the feeling this meeting could potentially take place during one of two different events, the first of which being the fall of King's Landing. Based on where the story is heading, the fall of King's Landing will be coming at some point in Season 3. And from what we know about Fire and Blood, after the fall of King's Landing, Rhaenyra starts to consider Daeron one of the biggest threats to her rule. Could Daemon potentially be reaching out to Daeron after the fall of King's Landing to try and strike some kind of deal? Based on some of the leaked video, it does look like Daemon and Daeron are going to have a private conversation, but how it will go still remains to be seen. But one thing I did find pretty interesting is this other leaked photo of what appears to be James Norton, who will be playing Ormond Hightower in Season 3, seemingly kneeling before Daemon and placing his sword at his feet. So whatever appears to be happening in this scene, it definitely seems like they are straying a little bit from the book. But whether or not it's a good or a bad change remains to be seen. And based on the little bit that we can see of young Daeron Targaryen, he almost looks to be a mix of Daemon and Aemond in appearance, and appears to have a similar posture to Aemond, albeit a much younger version. Will Daemon be successful at convincing young Daeron to join Rhaenyra, or at the very least to abandon the Hightower host, leaving one less dragon for Rhaenyra to worry about? Or is Daeron going to remain true to the Greens? Another potential possibility for when this meeting could take place could be directly after the Battle of the Honeywine. After all, until the Battle of the Honeywine, no one really even considers Daeron that much of a threat, with him and his dragon being very young at the time. But after his first battle, his legend begins to grow rapidly, with him proving to be a capable dragon rider, which could potentially be what prompts Daemon to come meet him in person. But either way, it should be interesting to see how they utilize him on the show. Overall, I think Daeron is going to be a very interesting addition to House of the Dragon. Unlike Aegon and Aemond, Daeron is a different kind of Targaryen entirely, and doesn't have the rage and bloodlust of his brothers. And with the Battle of Tumbleton reportedly coming around the finale in Season 3, it paints a much clearer picture as some of the events that we can expect to see in the third season. And it looks like we are going to have multiple major battles take place in Season 3, from the Battle of the Gullet at the beginning of the season, to the Battle of Tumbleton in the finale, and many other big events in between. Which begs the question, just what exactly is the pacing going to look like in Season 3? And will they be able to gain back some of the fans that were disappointed with Season 2? After all, the second season of House of the Dragon was extremely divisive, with the fan base being nearly split down the middle between people who loved it and hated it, which of course is a stark contrast to the first season that was widely beloved. There is, as of yet, no confirmed date as to when we can expect Season 3 of House of the Dragon, although based on their progress it will most likely be coming in the back half of 2026, with The Night of the Seven Kingdoms likely premiering before it, which has recently also been pushed back to 2026 as well. News that came as a big disappointment to many A Song of Ice and Fire fans, as we were repeatedly told that A Night of the Seven Kingdoms would be premiering in 2025. Suffice to say, HBO's reputation has taken a massive blow where A Song of Ice and Fire is concerned, and I do believe House of the Dragon Season 3 could potentially make or break the future of this franchise. So it certainly seems like there's going to be a lot riding on this new season. But that is going to do it today for my breakdown of the latest confirmation of Daeron Targaryen's casting for Season 3. And definitely let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Are you excited for Daeron Targaryen to be entering the fray in Season 3, and what did you think of the casting? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit a like on your way out, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our upcoming A Song of Ice and Fire content. And as always, I want to give a big thank you to everybody out there for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
I will hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.